Welcome to another episode of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. Before we begin, I like to wish everybody a great 4th of July weekend. I know today is Saturday, and well, I need to wake up. I know that, but today is Saturday, and we won't be here next Saturday, but we will be celebrating the 4th of July. So, whatever you're doing, make sure that we're barbecuing and we're having a good time. Spend some time with family and enjoy yourself. Now, let's talk about today's show. I call it the hot mess that is the Cleveland Browns. You know, when I got ready to do this show, I was thinking about when I was a kid. When I was a kid, yes, I was a kid. Yeah, some people say I was a bad kid, but yeah, I was a kid. But I remember when my birthday actually was one of those. I was one of those kids that was caught in the middle, like if your birthday came too late, you would have to sit out a whole year before you could go to school. So my birthday came in November, so that means I had to sit out a whole year. But when I was out, there was this elderly lady that used to live across the yard from my house and my parents' house, well, my mom and my brothers and sisters. But they were all at school. So my little sixth grade butt, I used to walk, I mean, my little 6-year old butt, I used to walk across from my house to her house. And her name was Miss Claudine. And one thing about Miss Claudine is that every day when I'd go over, she'd always serve me pudding, chocolate pudding at that. And after she would serve me pudding, and I would have pudding everywhere. I mean, all over my hands, face. And as she would clean me up, she would always say to me, she would say, "Baby, look at you. You not only a mess, but you are a hot mess. You are a hot mess. Look at you, baby. You got stuff everywhere because you is a hot mess." So when I look in terms of the the Cleveland Brown, that whole situation, it is a hot mess. It's a hot mess. And so, of course, unless you've been living in a cave, they had a hearing for my man who is a quarterback. Everybody should know who Deshaun Watson is. So they had a hearing for brother Deshaun. And of course, they had a representative from the Players Association, and then of course then there was the league. So they had this judge, and her name was Sue Robinson, and so she was an arbitrator. Basically, she's there to hear both sides and render a decision. But before we get into that, on today's show, I have a special guest that's supposed to call in, and it's gonna be well, she's gonna kick some knowledge. You guys know when I look at it in terms of how I build the show, you can either rant, rip, or kick some knowledge. And so she is a masseuse. And as I look into that whole, well, I did some research. So as I look into that whole Deshaun Watson hot mess situation, I said, you know what? I'm going to go and do some research. I'm going to see if I if I could get a massage and see what is the possibilities of you know I just want to see what it was like, so I could kind of take one for the team. And so that's what I did. So I went in, got my massage, and then I actually made some arrangements for the actual masseuse. She's gonna call in, and she's going to kick some knowledge. Now, keep in mind now, um, there is a possibility that things could uh, there's a possibility that things could go south because she's a masseuse and she has a practice. And so she said if things kind of go the way we hope, she'll be able to call in, and she's going to be our special guest for the show. So we're going to see how that's going to go. We have some time set aside for her, but just in case things don't work out, we have a plan B. Got to always have a plan B. And plan B is that we will take a deep dive into the hot mess that is the Cleveland Browns. Now, we all know that we're still in dry dock. For those who don't know, dry dock means there are no football games playing, so we can't really follow our format that I wanted to get into, which would be callers will get to call in. We'll take 2 minutes to rant and kick some knowledge about a specific event in a football game that played the I would say the following weekend, which should be a Sunday. So we can't do that now, but we do know football is a year sport. When I say football, I'm talking about the NFL. NFL always got something going on, you know. And we do know that we're getting into the part where we're starting to report for training. All season is going to begin, and I know I believe probably about mid July. That's when training camp is going to begin and OTAs and all that good stuff. And so that's going to be action packed. But like I said, we do have our guest that's scheduled to call in, and we'll give her a little time to make a transition, and if not, we'll push forward. And if so, we'll see what we're gonna do here. Like I said, she's gonna call in and a little bit about my massage that I took. Now, I am what you call a weekend warrior. I'm one of those people that I still try to stay active. Now, sometimes I push it to the limit because as we get older, our mind always tell us we can still do the same things that we used to do. But I think I got my caller coming in, and let's see what we got here. Welcome to Sports Therapy.
Hey, this is Earl.
Hey, what's say, Earl?
I can't say a lot. I was trying to give you a call in on your special line. I didn't have a code for you, so I could get Ross online.
Okay, well, I got you. So, Earl,
We can
let's
we can talk here now,
huh? Oh yeah, you good to go. You alive and in color. So, Earl, tell us a little
huh? Oh,
bit of,
okay. Understood.
huh?
I said okay.
Okay, tell us a little bit about um life of a masseuse.
Like muscle therapy.
Now, can you turn your the volume up a little bit so make sure I can hear you loud and
Okay, what about now?
there we go. All right. So, brother Earl, now Earl and I talked earlier this week, and one thing I like about Earl, he's not a Cowboy fan, so yeah, that makes it automatically okay with me. Okay, what's your team, Earl?
The mighty Kansas City Chiefs. It's Chief Nation around here.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. So, now, hey, let's talk a little bit about um, life of a masseuse. Now, first of all, tell my listening audience the name of your company.
All right, the name of the business is Train Touch Muscle Therapy. We're out of Dallas, Texas. We're on Lemon Avenue. If you ever want to look us up, the best thing to do is just Google Trained Touch, and we're all over Google or Google Medical Massage. That's kind of our niche, not kind of our niche. That is our niche, and that's what we hang our hat on.
Okay, I got you. So now, is there a specific training that a masseuse go through? I mean, I know that now I'm a counselor, and I tell people don't call me doctor because I don't have a PhD, but I am a counselor. And as a counselor, we have to go through some type of specialized training to be certified. So, is there a training that you guys go through as far as in order to become a masseuse?
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Ross answer that question. That's my business partner. She is. I'm just kind of the back end technical marketing, thing of the business. So I'm going to let her answer it. All right. So I'm going to hand it over to Ross.
Okay. We got
So I'm
Ross.
Ross. I'm yes. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Now let me say this real quick. Now Ross go by one name, so it's like Prince or whatever. I mean, she's one name. She's known as Ross. So Ross, as I was talking to
Yes.
your coworker there, one specific question that I asked, I said, in terms of the masseuse, is there a specialized training that you guys go through?
Yes, there is a specialized training and it's kind of in layers. So in the state of Texas, you can go to school for 500 to 750 hours.
Okay.
The 5 hours or 550 hours of training that you receive is your basic knowledge of anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, and your technique called Swedish massage. The step further you go is up into the 750 hours, and that will get you a broader spectrum of knowledge of deep tissue, sports, reflexology, prenatal, or pretty much whatever is available in the term depending on the school that you go to. The highest level that you can get for massage therapy is an associate's degree, but the only school that offers that, and that's here in Dallas, is Parker University,
Wow.
and that's a little bit more advanced as well. And then there's other different certifications that you can do to niche yourself out, just like what we've done at Train Touch Muscle Therapy. We mainly focus on medical massage. So myself as well as my staff, we all have medical massage practitioner certifications, and that's a 2 weekend course that consists of 48 hours of continuing education outside of your license. And you just learn about a plethora of modalities that are more advanced.
Wow, that's just to say a plethora of modalities. Ross, let me jump in here and say this real quick. Now, because I noticed that when you were breaking this down in terms of the specifics and the areas and muscles and all that good stuff that you train into. Now, what people don't know is that before I decided to become a counselor 100 years ago, I was actually a biology major, and I took human anatomy, physiology, botany. Man, I was getting a little bit deeper there, and then I kind of realized, yeah, somehow my interest got swayed to the life of criminal justice. But I know that you were getting really getting into specific because sometimes people don't understand that as a masseuse, you're not just some person in there squeezing folk and have, because you and I think, now correct me if I'm wrong. You guys know how to focus in on a specific area. For example, depending if someone has prior injury or you guys really do some deep muscle stuff. In other words, you to get people like me, the old weekend warrior, back up and running.
Yes, and that's where the additional advanced training comes in for the medical massage of learning your functioning anatomy. When you go to school for massage, it's very general. So they teach you the basics, and then depending on what your passion is for that, and honing in on your skills, you go and niche yourself out with neuromuscular, medical massage. You can do myofascial, cupping, scraping, etc. And you really want to know all of your insertion points, origins, things of that nature, and just a nonstop studying to make sure that you understand and can find the root cause of what's going on with any particular ailment.
Wow. Wow. Because and I'm glad that I have you on today because I'll be honest, you are really enlightening me as well as and I know the information that you're sharing is going to be very beneficial to my listening audience and anybody else because I can tell you when you break it down like you're doing, it really tells me that there is a it's a craft, and just like anything else, you know when you really get into
Oh,
the
for
training.
sure. Yes, for sure. It's kind of like when you decide what you're going to do within massage therapy, it's kind of like when a doctor decides whether or not they're going to be a plastic surgeon or a heart doctor and things of that nature. You just really figure out your area and what you're passionate about, because you have massage therapists that focus on prenatal, and there's a course that's like a specific certification where you hone in on your skills with working on pregnant women or the lymphatic drainage. So there's a multiple things that you can do, and you just pick which one suits you and fits you to, again, just hone in on that craft and niche yourself within being a therapist.
Okay, I understand that. It's just like when I got into being a counselor, um, I like our first, the initial classes were pretty much the same, and then you break off into your, like you said, your specific. I would say like your content area. For example, if you want to get into marriage and life counseling, or if you want to get into grief counseling, or just counseling like geriatrics and things of that nature. So it seems like in the world of massage therapy, it follows a pattern very similar to that. Like you said, you come in and then you determine based on your interest as to what route you want to further pursue, which is very enlightening.
Yes, yes, very, very much so. So you can learn plenty of things, and then part I also like to let people know a part of being a good therapist is not only knowing about body work, but also understanding what goes into the body and what other corrective exercises and things like that to help the client at home, because it's not just work on the table, but it's also what the client is doing at home off of the table that also contributes to good body work as well.
Well, amen to that. Because I was telling my listeners before you call in that I actually came to your business and I got a massage now, and I will tell you I'm very happy. And I told you when I left, I said I got to cancel everything that I got planned to do for the day because I got to go over and take a nap. But but
Yes,
I,
I
I,
remember.
I'm
Yes.
saying this because you pointed out to me and you gave me some homework, and I want you to know that I have been following your advice. I have been drinking more water. I have been drinking more water. Now, I haven't totally given up on my sodas, but I've cut down. So, and like you said, the work starts away as well as in the facility as well. So that's some good information to give out.
Yes, yes. Well, happy to hear that you are,
Following your direction.
putting to use your homework on those recommendations. And again, it's an 80-20 rule. So as long as we're like 80% doing what we're supposed to do to help ourselves and hone in our personal care routine, why not enjoy yourself the other 20% of the time? So, enjoy that soda every now and then when you want to.
So, Roz, who are your clientele? Who do you cater to in specific?
So specifically, I'll say 85% of our clientele are women,
Okay.
but we work with everyone. So if you are an athlete and you need sports performance, or if you have a chronic or acute pain, we can work on that. I can count on both of my hands, and even more than that, how many people we've had come in that back have gone out and then they're walking out better, but they're wanting to rebook in a couple of days. So we help everyone, but we mainly focus on sports performance and pain management. So if that fits you, whether male or female, myself or a therapist in house can definitely, help get you back on track into, what you're wanting to do on a regular basis.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So, is there a one size fit all approach in terms of the type of services you guys provide? Because I heard you mention the Swedish massage. So, is there like a one size fit all?
No, there's not a one size fit all. Our particular technique in house, we blend together multiple modalities. to help get to the root cause and get you a better result. Because there are different imbalances within the body, what you do on the right side of your body may be different from the left, just because, your left side can be overworking and overloaded, and then your right side can be a little bit weaker. And then the response from client to client is different. You can have a very similar area of discomfort within your shoulders or back, but depending on what your daily stressors are, the way you release and respond is different. So we don't take, a one technique approach. We analyze the body. We ask a few questions about what's going on in your life, and we'll do a table assessment. And then from there, that's how we figure out pretty much how we're going to approach the situation. So you'll come in for our first time client um, service. And then we assess, we give recommendations on the end of what you can do at home, how often you should come back, duration of sessions, etc. And then just take you from there in creating a treatment plan on what we would think would be the best fit for each individual.
All right, that's good. So now, to my callers who are calling in and you're waiting, and you are listening to Sports Therapy with FH Junior. We have a special guest. This is Ross, and she's calling in from Train Touch. She is a trained masseuse, and she's giving us some good information. So for my callers who are calling in and you in the queue, listen to the show, and then we're gonna bring in our callers after our guests get finished giving us the good knowledge that she's giving us. So now, describe for me and my listening audience. Take me to the initial stage. If I'm just FH Junior and I'm rolling up and I'm parking out front and I'm coming in, what is the initial stage of the process? Where does it start with?
So the process actually starts from the point that you book your appointment. You can book online or book in person, and then what happens then is your intake form is sent out to you, and you give us your general information, name, uh, address, what you're coming in for, what you're wanting us to focus on. That's very important in filling that out before you get in, so that way we can analyze and kind of have an idea of what direction we're going to take the session before you even get on the table. And then from there, once you arrive to the facility, we have parking out front or extended parking at a location not too far from the facility. We greet you at the door, bring you in. We'll ask you a few questions about what you have going on, and then get you on the table and start your service. And in the end, we provide recommendations on what you should do at home, or improvements of things you can do at home in between your sessions to improve your results and just help even things out if you have any aches or pains that you're coming in for.
Okay, so now the name Train Touch. The name Train Touch. Whose idea was that? And is there a meaning behind it?
Well, it is actually, we rebranded the name. Our initial name was Trained in the Art of Touch, and me and my business partner were actually having a conversation, and I was being goofy, and I was like, I'm trained in the art of touch, and he was like, what? And he was like, that's our name. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, that is our name, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so we started out with Trained in the Art of Touch, and then we rebranded because there were a few businesses with a very similar name, but we also wanted a name that fit exactly what we do. And because typically we really like to say we do muscle therapy, Train Touch Muscle Therapy was a better fit to attract clients that are doing sports therapy, um, pain management, and things of that nature. So that's how we came up with the name.
Okay, okay, I got you. I got you. So now, with the with COVID and all that going around right now, what do you guys do about health and safety precautions? Where are we on that?
Well, we have an air purifier that we turn on every night, a commercial air purifier that we turn on every night for 8 hours, that clears out the whole facility. And not only that, in between sessions, we sanitize everything in 99% alcohol. So all utensils, all surfaces, doorknobs, anything that has been touched by a client, it is sanitized. We spray down the chairs, the baskets, everything. And we also wipe things down in with a commercial hospital grade sanitation wipe as well to ensure that there's no cross contamination. Um, Also, we're changing sheets in between and washing sheets every day. That is an industry standard. So that's pretty much how we like to make sure that things are cleanly within the facility.
Okay, that's good. Good to know. So now, Ross, I don't know if you are a big sports fan or not. I don't know if you follow football or basketball or run track or whatever, But one of the reasons that I wanted to reach out to you and have you come on and kick some knowledge is because today's show is called the hot mess that is the Cleveland Browns, and we're doing a deep dive into a situation that happened with one of the guys that plays professional football, and it really had to do with um, he got a series of massages and he crossed the line, and that's why he's in trouble. So my question to you, and you told me that the majority of your clients are female, and you do specialize in, like you said, the athlete, the athletic trainer, and doing all that stuff. So what do you do? And I don't know if this happened, and I don't know if you can speak on this, but what are the precautions in place for when someone crosses the line as far as the service that's provided?
So literally, when someone crosses the line, I let them know right then and there that that is inappropriate. That we are going to end the session right here, right now, because we're not that type of establishment. Followed by that, I will let another staff member know to come out as well if they're in session or if they're just within the facility, and then we escort them off the premises and let them know, hey, that is not acceptable. And we will follow up to let them know that they are not welcome back because we don't cross any type of boundaries at all whatsoever, and that is not okay at all.
All right, good to know. So now, where do people find you guys? Where you located?
We are located in Oaklawn off of Lemon Avenue, 4038 Lemon Avenue to be exact. We don't accept walk-ins. We're by appointment only. So going to our website, traintouch.com, would be the easiest way to book. And you can also call in at 469-754-1232 to book an appointment as well.
All right. Well, Ross, thank you for being our guest, my guest today. And let me give you, I want you to take as much time as you want and give a plug for Train Touch. The floor is yours, and you can say whatever you want.
So if you guys are having any issues with any type of pain, whether it is chronic or acute, and come in to see us. If you are preparing for football training, basketball, triathlon, we can help you condition, get where you need to go, help you with a treatment plan. And also, if you're just kind of wanting to get a feel out for us, we do have a new client special that is $60. That is the initial. So you can see what our service is like, see the facility, and, just get the body work that you need.
All right. Well, Ross, thank you very
Let me
much.
also follow up. Hey, let me also follow up real quick to let everyone know that we have literally over 1,000 reviews out there, and we average 4.8 stars. So we're not just patting ourselves on the back. We have other people doing it for us.
All right.
Um, that 60 minutes is, I'm sorry, that $60 is for 60 minutes for new clients. So we'll love to see any and everyone. And all of our social media is at traintouch.com. So we're Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, anything that you're on. If you'll just put in Trained Touch, you'll be able to find us. Hey, man, and I thank you for the opportunity. Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl.
Hey, hey, I appreciate you guys calling in, being a guest today. And if you guys don't mind, starting today, I will give you a plug for Train Touch every time Sports Therapy with FH Junior comes on. How about that?
Man, I really appreciate it, man. I will love the opportunity. I will tell you, I will take care of anyone that comes in, and most definitely, if they'll just drop your name, we'll try to do something extra special for them.
All right, that works. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
All righty, you have a good one.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. This is Sports Therapy with FH Jr. And if you want to call in, our number is 940-329-4110. Sports Therapy with FH Jr. And we are back. That was a quick break. So I'm going to call someone who tried to call in and see what we're going to get.
Hi, thanks for calling Train Touch Muscle Therapy.
I just called you guys because you guys called me. Well, we're good. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
All righty.
All right. Bye bye. All right. Welcome to Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. Who we got? Who we talking to?
Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith. All right. Talk to me, Aaron. Where we calling from?
From Mesquite, Texas.
Okay. All right. What's on your mind, Aaron?
Hold on, I can't. Hold on a second, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Say it again.
I said, what's on your mind?
Not a whole lot on my way to the big three, and I was calling in for the podcast this morning.
Okay.
But I didn't get to hear what's today's subject.
Well, today's subject is the Cleveland Browns, the mess that is the Cleveland Browns. And I don't know if you're familiar with that whole Deshaun Watson cray. And we just had a masseuse on our show. And one of the things that, and her name was Ross, and her company is called Train Touch, and that's in Dallas off of Lemon Avenue. And one of the things that I talked to her about was the procedure of what the masseuse go through because they're all trained. And I asked her, what happens when an individual crosses the line? And she basically told me, hey, they kind of, tell them what's up. They put them out and they let them know under no circumstances So are you familiar with that Deshaun Watson situation?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you sound like you ready to just get into it. What is your feeling on that?
Well, I'm having a sidebar with Taiwan Young here about that situation right now, so he's going to give you his take on it.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
My take on it is, I was just like, if he crossed the line, why did they go? Why did they let him go so far? Why would they finish? And then my thing was, did they get paid at the end of that session?
Good point.
And why did they wait so long?
Good point. Good point. Because some of my friends that I've talked to, and some of them are female, and what they've said is that, wait a minute, if the minute that someone gets out of line, you put them in check. So why was it not put in check? And, then you get someone who says, well, they were afraid. But now here's another spin I'm gonna put on this. If if it was just me or you and we don't have millions of dollars, would we be sued or would we just probably receive a good cussing out? And you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another take on it too. But then I think they would have ended the session with us.
Oh, definitely.
They would have got us in check now.
Oh, definitely.
Because
So,
the way it looked like is like they everybody was like they were all taught to say the same thing.
oh, I agree.
If that makes sense.
Well, now,
And I respect it. You know what I'm saying? It's people do all kind of stuff.
yeah.
But I'm like, the way I look at it, they should have stopped it right then. What are you gonna do? Beat him up? Is he gonna, attack him? Like what?
So, should the
They
brother
should have
be
walked out the room.
suspended? Should he be suspended?
I don't think so. I think it was a money grab. They got paid. You got 20 women that got paid for still waiting. They still trying to probably negotiate more money,
I got you.
and it's crazy.
I hear you, bro. I got you.
No criminal charge. That's just like OJ didn't get charged with the murders, but he got charged for the in the
Civil
case.
court.
Like wow.
Yeah, yeah. He lost in civil court because here's the dilemma that the league is faced with is that, and I did a prior show is that hey, if you got these owners who've been doing some of the same things and there was no suspension, whatever, and what can we do? Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
We ain't heard nothing else about Robert Kraft
At
since
all,
his little incident happened.
at all. Hey, brother, I appreciate you calling and thank you for calling in. Okay.
Hey, we appreciate you.
All right, man. Welcome to Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Who am I listening to?
This is Alan Cooper.
Oh, it's Alec Cooper. You're one of my regulars. What say you, Coop?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing, Mr. M?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to my guest that called in. She was a masseuse out of Dallas here locally. And I always tell people, even though I'm a Commander fan, I am behind enemy lines because I'm deep in the heart of Texas. But
Right.
she called in and she was talking about, she kicked some knowledge and she was talking about the training, the specialized training that the masseuse goes through in terms of learning all the muscles, specific area that they target. But she said that her clientele, majority of them are female, but they specialize sort of in athletes. When I say that, those who are, not just professional athletes, but anyone who average people train, running, marathon runners, whatever. So, but toward the end of our conversation, I asked her. I said, "Hey, what do you do when someone crosses the line?" And she said that they specifically let them know that there are boundaries within the services that they don't that you know what I'm saying that they follow, such as if a client tried to ask for something extra or something that they don't get. She said they end that session right then. They basically put them out, and she said she'll call in one of her partners if they're available, so that she can kind of have, maybe I don't want to put words in her mouth, but have some extra eyes available, so she can so there are guidelines, but the one thing I'm glad you call in, because one of the things that I took to heart when she was talking about is you know those things happen. But today's show is called The Hot Mess. That is the Cleveland Browns. And that's what I want to talk about, man. Tell me, what do you feel about that?
Okay. Well, I think the organization appears to be as dysfunctional, but as far as Deshaun Watson, as far as him being suspended, I think you know he was off all last year. He didn't, so I guess according to the policy as far as conduct, I guess he should probably be suspended. But then he got himself in a in a pretty tough situation because he got himself in a bad situation. And I kind of think with all these different people, copycat
Right.
and people probably just jumping on a bandwagon, seeing an opportunity to make money off of him. I'm not saying that he didn't do nothing. Now, if he did something, he deserves to be, punished by the league, reprimanded by the league. So, but I don't think he should be suspended for the whole year either forever. But I think maybe a couple games, like 4 5 games, and let the man come on back and make a living.
So you're saying
But
that
as
there should
far as a
be.
mess for the Cleveland Browns,
Well,
they are a mess.
when I think of the Cleveland, I'm thinking about the fact that Amari Cooper left the Cowboys to go there. Baker Mayfield, hell, we don't know what's happening with him. They got to pay him whether they trade him or whatever.
Right.
They're gonna have to pay him because he's gonna have to get evicted out of his house. The commercial
Right.
where they show
Yeah.
Baker living in,
Right.
so he got to find a new place to live.
Yes.
Now, do you think
Right.
do,
Yeah.
do you think that they could go back and save that relationship if if it comes down to Deshaun being suspended?
You talking about with Baker?
Yeah,
You talking about the relationship with Baker?
with Baker.
I don't think it's. I think it's a done deal. I think too much have gone under the bridge and too much damage has been done. He feel like that they didn't value him, and they feel like that he wasn't productive enough, which I don't think he was either. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. But I don't think that the relationship could be salvaged. I think they got to dumb. They got to get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that because how do you go back with hat in hand and say, you know what, Baker? Although we said that you you're not the man, but you know what? Let's see can we fix our relationship because because the Cleveland Browns are not our
You gotta
father's
accept.
Cleveland Browns.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they really a team that's ready to win.
Yeah, they got a lot of
To
talent.
me, there's no excuse for Cleveland to be losing because he had good people in every position, good backups, good receivers, good backups. He had Landry, he had O.J. Beckham. They had the tight end. There's no the good. They had no reason not to win. He really just
And
did
they
the
had some
job.
stars on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yes, yes, they did. I think they need the leadership from a quarterback. Really,
Hmm.
and they know what they need to, and they know Baker not gonna be able to do the job because the job that he did, you can get that from anybody.
Especially with the money that you're paying him.
So I'd let him go. I know they got to pay that $19 million, but I'd go ahead and let him go, man.
And then they got to roll out Jacoby Brissett as because
Right.
they signed him as a backup, and now he was the starting quarterback for a minute at I believe for the Colts, and so now they're rolling him in
Right.
there if things go south. Now here's what gets crazy, Coop. You're gonna pay Baker, regardless of whether he play or not. You're gonna pay him, okay?
Right.
You
Right.
got Deshaun Watson in a guaranteed contract. I think he's guaranteed over $200 million.
40,
Huh?
240,
Yeah,
$250 million.
yeah. So was I if I'm him, whether I play or not, I'm still getting paid. So now there's talk
Right.
about.
Yeah.
I was reading one article from I believe the guy was Mike Lombardi. He was saying he floated this crazy idea of why don't they just go get Jimmy G because
Right.
they're saying that.
Well,
Go ahead.
it'll cost too much to get Jimmy G because
Yes.
he got a big contract. But Passett is cheaper. You already paying out 240 to Watson. You already got 19 million on the hook for Baker. You can't put, and I don't know what Jimmy G makes, but I know he makes probably well over 10 or 12 million a year. So I probably 20, 30 million a year, but I'd rather have Passett, and then you already spending out a lot of money. So you
Well,
just what to go with Brissett.
in the words of Miss Claudine, who used to babysit me when I was 6 years old, baby, this is a hot, hot mess.
Yes, it is. I don't know if it might be even more of a mess this season. So when the season moves forward, so
Well, now it's coming out that Cleveland didn't really do proper due diligence on Deshaun when it came down to that trade between when they got him from Houston, because
right.
nobody else would touch him, or they were going to backload the contract with all types of incentive to protect the organization. You know, it's just like
Right.
I'm trying to think of who was the player for the Cowboys. The reason he left because the Cowboys had put in his contract saying, "Hey, if you get suspended, then we get to void your contract. Basically, we're protecting ourselves." And everybody else, to my knowledge, offered um, Deshaun that type of language in the contract, saying, "Hey, if we sign you, if you get suspended, then we have a right to be able to get out of that contract." And so Cleveland didn't. And that's what makes it a real high mess, is because they kind of hamstrung the organization and like, okay, we're going to just give you $240 million guaranteed, as they say in Louisiana, guaranteed. But they hamstrung themselves because um, now there are people saying this. The guy's already been out a year. That should be the punishment.
Right.
They didn't put him on the list that the league normally put on you when you're waiting. Now
Right.
the league is
But
saying
the league didn't do that. Houston
no.
Texans did.
Right.
So you can't. The league got to bring their own punishment.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans did that, not the league. So, but I believe that they thought that he get this money, he can pay these people off, and then we'll be in the clear to go ahead and and move forward with him. But I probably wouldn't cut him. I would keep him. You got this much invested in him.
And he's a
I
talent.
know you could have probably put in the contract and bought. He's talented. He's A1 talented. So you're not gonna be able to get. There's only so many star quarterbacks in this league. So I take my chance with it.
Because I've heard.
I take because the other people they mediocre.
Well, I've heard that if Jack the
They
Ripper,
mediocre.
if Jack the Ripper could bring you a Super Bowl, there's some teams would sign Jack the Ripper. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt about it.
They would
No
sign
doubt about
Jack
it. No doubt about it.
as long as Jack can continue to perform. Now, the minute Jack can't perform anymore, then we're gonna get rid of him. In other words, we'll overlook all the warts that you have as long as you have a skill. As long as you got that skill, we will overlook all the warts. Now, because
Well, it's about win. It's about winning and putting people in the stands.
yes, definitely,
So if you put people in the stands, then you know you're gonna be able to pay him. So I think they know he's a special talent, and they know that window gonna close up probably in a couple of years for them to be able to win, and they know they got the pieces to win right now. And they want to win right now. They know after this year, a couple more years, that window gonna close, and them guys that's there now won't be there.
well, that's what I
So
tell.
you got to try to win now.
And see, that's what I tell people. I said you can have a good team, but that window for you getting it done, whether it's football, was it basketball, was it hockey, was it baseball, you can have a great team. That window to get it done, sometimes it's no more than 2 to 3 years. You have to get it done. Doesn't mean that they're going to hand you the championship. You still going to have to go through some good teams to get it done. But if you don't get it done within that frame, you're right. Things happen. Guys get
You're gonna
older.
break the team
You
up.
got to pay people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what Cleveland is
They
is, is
won't be able
banking
to
on.
afford people. You won't be able to afford people. You're gonna have to get rid of some of these big salaries, so you
Yes.
won't be able to pay these salaries, these salary cap. But they know that the window is gonna close up, so they trying. They know they ain't won in a long time, so they got to try to win. And you know it all started with the quarterback. I don't care what kind of receiver you got. I don't care what kind of running back. You got to have a legitimate quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And
You,
they
yes.
and you don't get these only come these special quarterbacks don't come around too often. And he's special.
Yeah.
He's special. Now he especially he did some So messing up, he was messing up too, but he's a special quarterback, man.
Now, earlier this week,
So
earlier this week, they actually had a arbitration between the Players Association and the league, and they had this judge, and I think her name was Sue Robinson. Now, her job was to try to find some common ground, and bottom line is that they had, I guess you would call it like a hearing. So now, after I believe the hearing probably took place, I think about 3 days, but she didn't render a decision, and because when a case like this is so big, they don't just render a decision right then and there. It's like they got to go back and look at all the facts. They got to look at the some preferences. They got to look at some prior cases. They got to look at league guidelines, and then they got to look at what take both sides in consideration, try to figure out what what is each side trying to prove, because this is what the league floated this out anyway, is that they wanted to go with a 1-year suspension. And I think what the league is looking at is that, okay, we have, and let's be honest, the NFL has changed. It's not just the guys football now. It's universal, and it's pretty much worldwide. So they got to think in terms of their image, and they know there's a lot of females are watching the NFL now, and so you have to send a message that, hey, we won't tolerate certain offenses. We just not. But yeah, right. And so they fall back on the collective bargain agreement between the players and the league as far as conduct. But you have the Players Association saying, wait a minute, if we take what's in the collective bargain agreement in terms of behavior, the behavior conduct, it says that owners will be held to a higher they're gonna be held to a higher standard than the players. Huh?
right,
Yeah. And so now they're looking at, well, then if we go and look at the owner of the Patriots, remember, he got into a little sex thing down in New York. No suspension. Okay. Look at my man Danny Snyder. So they're saying you're not suspending these people. You're not like, okay. So that's where, now here's where the league is saying, and this is where the Players Association are coming down. They're saying, wait a minute, if we look at the policy and the guidelines, they're saying, hey, he didn't assault anybody. He's not facing any criminal charges. So there's a good chance that he could walk away with basically no punishment. And so the league is saying we got to figure out something. So I'm thinking, this is just me, I'm thinking that they got to come up with something that everybody can live with. So if you had to ask me, I think he gets between 6 and 8 games. Because here's the thing: if the judge comes back and she says, "Hey, based on the guidelines set by the NFL, we can't suspend him at all," and then, but the process goes back to the commissioner, who gets the final word, so he can still suspend him.
right, yeah.
And if that happens,
Let the bounce say so.
yeah, but if that happens, now the Deshaun Watson and the Players Association, now they can go file a lawsuit in federal court. So
Agreed.
yeah, so it's wild and woolly, and that's why I said today's show, it is a hot mess
Definitely is.
in Cleveland. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's a hot mess, Coop.
Yes, it is. I think he might get about 10 games.
And I think, and I think that it may be. I said 6 to 8. He may get 10. Yeah, but if I'm Deshaun Watson, I don't really care, because I'm gonna get my money,
Right.
whether he
Right.
plays or not.
He gonna
And
get paid, but he love, but he probably love the game too. So he won't
he
put
does. But guess what?
a young man. But you think about it, you be like sit out 2 years.
Yeah, but think about it. That's 2 years of no wear and tear on your body.
Right.
which
Yeah.
which
But
will
I
link in,
wonder
which
if
will add
he
some
is
years on the
skilled
back
like
end to your career. Say what?
right, yeah. But what about if your skills done diminish? Like Michael Vick, when he came back from that 23 months, his skills had diminished, and I know he was a lot older though too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
yeah. Because
and
what is
so
Deshaun about?
yeah,
What,
I understand.
25, 26? Because he's a
He
young
got to
guy.
be 26, 25,
Yeah,
26. He's young.
and then if you take in
So he
consider
probably ain't lost nothing.
what now, if you take in consideration that he was off a whole year, so that's what people are saying. Well, he's already been
Right.
punished. So it's a hot mess,
But the league didn't punish him.
right?
The organization did.
Mm-hmm.
So the league gonna do their own punishment.
Yeah,
So
because we all know you have to protect the shield, the reputation of the league, and they want to make sure that.
because if you don't do that, you won't be in the league.
Thank you. Yeah,
So you won't be in the league.
because now here's why I come down on this now, because the Players Association are saying, you know what, the guy just has a fetish for massages. And he has a fetish for
Right.
probably past and going over the boundaries a little bit as far as asking for sexual favors. But they're saying at the end of the day, he's not being physical. He's just being an idiot or a damn fool. So that's what the Players Association is saying. He really hadn't violated any policy, you know. And
Right.
that,
He didn't rape anybody.
right? And they're
He
saying,
didn't rape anybody.
and they're saying,
He just crossed. He just from boundary violation.
yes. And they're saying based on that, that is not enough to punish him. Because I talked to some of my some females out here, and then the first thing they're saying, wait a minute, the minute he said something crazy, why didn't those ladies shut this whole thing down?
I think they saw the opportunity, and they also saw the opportunity to get some fame and opportunity to get some money.
Now,
Not saying that he didn't do anything.
right, and
but
see,
I think if he was just a normal person, nobody would have said nothing, bro.
right, and see, and I'm not advocating saying that he didn't do anything wrong. I'm saying if it been physical, and I know sexual abuse, it can be mental and because a lot of it falls back into
Right.
what it goes down to power. But I'm saying if you're going and see a masseuse and you're crossing the line, he has no real power over them because they have the ability to put him out. And if he had went farther and refused or got physical, then you have the sexual assault, then all those other charges and comes in. So they're basically what you got is just some guy has some crazy fetish. Now he probably need to go to some type of counseling and take a look at, dude, why you have 66 different masseuses,
Right.
what's going on in your head to where you have to, and because the league has trainers, we all know that the league provides you trainers.
Right. Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah. You got everything you need with the league.
yeah, so what is going on in your head that you have to go outside of the parameters and do these type of things? So that's where
I think a lot of time they can come down to entitlement and power on their part. A
true.
lot of time the athletes think that they don't have to succumb to the law. They can do what they want to. It's a system of entitlement.
And nobody's ever told them no at all.
They can buy their way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, Brother Allen, thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Mr.
The sports therapy with F.H. Jr.
Mr. Hamlin. Appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you calling. You had some good information.
See you next week.
All right, and I want to also once again thank our special guest Ross from Train Touch, and like I told her, beginning next week, we will always give a plug to Train Touch, and full disclosure, I'll probably go back for another massage. So this is our show this week. Everybody have a good 4th of July, and to all the lions on the yard, stay golden.